Everyone, welcome to our event. This event is brought to you by DataTalks.Club, which is a community of people who love data. We have weekly events, and today is one of such events. If you want to find out more about the events we have, there is a link in the description. Go there, check it out, and see what you like. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. This way you will get notified about amazing live streams like we have today. And we have a very cool Slack community where you can hang out with other data enthusiasts. And one of the things we have in Slack is an amazing initiative. Antonis is one of those who organize a lot of things there, called Project of the Week. And we're just wrapping up a week about learning Rust. So check it out. It's an amazing community. Project of the Week is really a cool thing. If you don't know about that, there is a channel called Project of the Week. During today's interview, you can ask any question you want. There is a pinned link in the live chat. So just click on that link, ask your question, and I will be covering these questions during the interview. Now I will stop sharing my screen. I went off script a little bit. You probably noticed.
Yeah.
And I will now open the document that Johanna, prepared for you. And yeah, where it is. And I guess we can start if you're ready.
Yep.
Okay. This week we'll talk about freelancing and working at a startup. And we have a special guest today, Antonis. Antonis is a freelance data scientist who is currently working at Nanometrisis, which is a startup that is focusing on providing software for nanoproduct inspection. That sounds really cool. In addition, he recently joined a freelance platform called Upwork, where he offers a range of data solutions to clients. So welcome to the show.
Hi, nice. Thank you for the invitation and nice to be here.
Yeah, and what I did not have in the script, but Antonis actually is a very, very active member of DataTalks.Club community, and it's a real pleasure for me to have him here today. So thanks for joining us today. And so the questions for today's interview are, as always, prepared by Johanna Bayer. Thanks a lot, Johanna, for your help. And before we go into our main topic of freelancing and working at a startup, let's start with your background. Can you tell us about your journey so far?
Yeah, I will start with my bachelor. I studied applied mathematics and physics. That's my main degree. Actually, I also focused on the physics direction. So I graduated as a physicist, and then I continued to do a master in Greece again, master and bachelor in Greece. That was on nanotechnology. And there, while I was doing my thesis, I started working. That was like around 2017. I started working with data science. It was because of my thesis. And after that, I went to the Netherlands to join a program that is called a professional doctorate in engineering. And there, you work for the university, and then the university sends you to do projects with companies around Netherlands. So you do those projects to get exposure to industry, and also you getting modules and trainings from the university. So it's like a combination of training.
Of your education.
Yeah. So it's education and working at the same time. So it's the first year you work as a kind of consultant for a company, doing small projects, 4 month, 3 month. And then the second year, they send you and do like a 1-year contract with a company. You work there, you provide your solution to their problem, and also you get the training or kind of whatever you need, a specialist from the university. So after that, I became like a freelancer in Greece. I came back to Greece, became a freelancer. And my first job was actually the reason I came back to Greece was for the startup called Nanometrisis, where as you told, what we do is like we're building a software for companies who are building nano products. We help them inspect those because there is a lot of complexity there, and if somebody doesn't want to invest their money or the time or a team on finding these metrics that are characterizing nano product or structure. It's very complicated, and yeah, if somebody doesn't want to do that, we offer them our software, which can lift this kind of burden off. And yeah, after while I was doing that, because I was technically a freelancer in Greece, I joined the Upwork, the platform which is for freelancers, and I was providing their solutions for machine learning, data science. So that's happening right now.
That's a cool journey. So what are those nano products? Like, are they, like, is it related to electronics, like phones and stuff?
Yeah. So actually, yeah, one of the nano products or clients that we have has their building surfaces and the nanoscale that you cannot see with your eyes. You need a special machine to see them, like electrons. You have to hit electrons, not light. And these surfaces are the base for the chips that we use in our phones, on our laptop. Also, apart from that, there are some edges, that we have for erasers. So even the edges of the erasers have to have a very specific, have to have a roughness, a specific roughness on there, so they can be effective and cut the hair only. And then there are nanoparticles. We can be on the creams that we put in our face, so they have to have specific sizes. So there's a big variety of nano products, and it's keep growing.
Mm-hmm. So I only knew about the chips part, but I had no idea about razors and these nanoparticles. That's pretty interesting. And I never realized that razors are such a complex thing.
Yeah.
Okay, like it's just a sharp thing that you use to cut hair.
Yeah, there's a very complicated and a lot of science behind it.
Mm-hmm. And I know that Philips, like the razor I use, is a big company in the Netherlands. Is it like did you get any exposure to these things at Philips? Did you work at Philips in any way?
No, not in physics, not in Philips. Other people did, but yeah, I had other companies like ASML, which is also like was an old spin-off or spin-out, I think, from Philips. But there were people who did projects with Philips.
I heard about programs like the one you had, and usually like Philips invests a lot of money in these kind of things. I think one of the universities. Did you study at the Eindhoven University?
Yeah, in Eindhoven. So actually, it is from Eindhoven, and it's also a joint program from Delft and I don't remember the other company. Yeah.
Anyways, so you finished your program, you came back to Greece, and you decided to work at a startup. So how did it happen? Why startup? Why not join a corporation?
Yeah. So yeah, I had an opportunity to either work for a corporation, kind of a corporation. It was I think the company was TSMC, maybe you know it like. Yeah, there was. I had the opportunity either to work there or to work on the startup. I had like both offers around the same time. So the things that I was, yeah, I had like after I graduated, I finished the program. I had a lot of time, and I was doing the interviews, and I had rejections, all the all the process, and then at the same time I had those two offers. So I was thinking in my head, okay, what I want, like I had to stop and think, like for many days, and yeah, I decided that I would like to try. I always admired, the journey, like the entrepreneurship journey, and creating something innovative and push it in the market and see, okay, how it goes, getting feedback, all this kind of um, parts of the startup. And I always admired, startup stories. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do it now, and if something doesn't go well, maybe I have other opportunities to go to a corporation. Oh, and also, by the way, yeah, the startup was doing what I was doing in the master, and I would do something in data science, which I don't think would be very easy. Yeah.
So in your masters, you were doing some nano product stuff already.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was quite related. So you were interested in this in these nano products. You were interested in data science, and it was the kind of the best thing, like two together, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. And when you were deciding between startup and corporation, I think probably there were also some good things about, joining a corporation, right? Did you do some sort of, I don't know, like for example, when I need to make a decision, sometimes what I do is I list pros and cons, and then I see, okay, like there are more pros here than cons, and then this is like the decision I take. Did you do something like this when deciding?
Exactly. I did exactly like that. And I also was trying, I cut down I was not telling anyone about this. So I cut off everyone's, kind of opinion that might affect you. So it was me and myself, let's say, and I was, trying to balance the pros and cons. You definitely get some pros from working on a corporation and, some cons. And I said, let's try the startup direction. I thought they would give me some more value. Maybe in the future, I will, go back to the corporate environment and get something there.
Or maybe startup becomes a corporation.
Oh yeah, that's also a good, not good as well.
Yeah. And do you remember what were these pros and cons? So for pros, working for a startup, I think you mentioned creating something innovative, and then like other things. Do you remember what were the other things you put in when deciding?
Yeah, I think with a corporate environment, okay, there are always exceptions, okay, but you're kind of more focused to your job that is in your description. But in a startup, you might take other positions as well because you're not so many people. So you have to, maybe talk to clients, or you have to do the branding. Maybe you have to make a video about your company. That okay, you have like so many things that there might be somebody else's job in a corporate environment. So, and I think that for some person could be can put it in the cons or put it on the pros, depending on what they like to do.
And for you, was it a pro or cons?
I think for me it was kind of pros. Yeah, I wanted to have the ability to
That's cool.
to go a bit to the business, so part of it or other aspects of it, to control them. And
You actually need to record videos now?
no, I hadn't not just, but I built a website kind
Okay.
of these
Cool.
things. Some people in my company have made the videos, like recorded them and post them, for branding. Yeah, but I think also one pro I could definitely think, and I want that to have it in the startup, is like you're more organized by kind of nature. Like you have to be organized more in the corporate environment. In a startup, you have yourself to do that. Maybe it has to do a bit with accountability as well. So yeah, you're accountable, while in a company it's more easy to be to somebody else. So you had deadlines by your manager or your team, but with a startup you put in your deadlines, or you maybe your clients. Depends. So yeah, that would be as well something different.
How large is the company where you work?
I didn't hear you, sorry.
How large is the company where you work? How many
We
people?
are 4 active people. Yeah, 4.
4. Okay. That's a pretty small startup.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I've seen startups with 2 people. So like, yeah,
Well,
okay.
there are startups with one people, right?
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, in the accelerator that we have, there were some that was just one person, like building huge things. It was like, okay.
Yeah, so 4 people, and then if you're one of these 4, you have to do pretty much everything, right?
Yeah. For me, it was now we were in an accelerator and was getting a lot of business. We were increasing our business acumen, let's say, because we were coming actually from academic mindset. The Nanometrisis is a startup that is a spin-off from a research center in Greece. So yeah, I myself had to get this kind of knowledge a lot and transfer it, or to the company.
Yeah, what did you, since you joined, what kind of new skills have you learned working at a startup?
So I think the communication, I had to be better communicating with the team, because I was kind of not exactly the only data scientist. When I was building something, I had to translate it with not so many complicated technical, words to other people. Also, maybe to some clients or managers or CEOs of other clients. So communication skills as well, definitely. It was, and this was just an example. From another thing for me was business knowledge. I learned. I'm still learning. I have a lot more to go. And I think, because again, I was accountable for myself and for the client. I had to increase more of the quality of my product or my code. Still is not on the level that I want, but yeah, I'm doing. And a lot of learning. You have to be able to learn things on your own. And being kind of the other thing I was talking talking about, like I posted the blog about being lean. That was a big thing for me, like the kind of a lean way to work.
What is a lean way to work?
So it comes from the fact that we cannot make very accurate predictions of something that we build or publish, or how it will go. So we build a product, and that product was built on assumptions. Okay, so if it's the physics, and or maybe if you send something to space, I know it's very complicated, but the rules can't be predictable, because there are masses, and you can't write some things in the node and predict where the next second maybe the spaceship will go. But of course it's complicated at some other parts, but yeah. But when you launch a product, or even you launch a new model, it's you have to you do this based on assumptions, and you have to test them. That's the thing. You have to test them as soon as possible. And from the test that you get a feedback, right? So this thing worked, this thing didn't work. I made a prediction that my site, who sells cars, I'm selling more. I'm trying to push more red cars to sell them, because I think people like red cars more. I have to test this. This is my best idea right now, like my innovative idea. I have to test it. I tried it out. Yeah, it didn't work. I saw, I have to pivot, try to do something different. So this, the lean way is based on like this circle, but called build. You build something, you measure it, and then you learn from it, and then you build again, and you do this loops, trying to, because again, you cannot know, you cannot predict everything.
So there is an idea. You think that this idea is going to work. You need to find a way to test this idea, right? And then you need to have a way to measure the effect of this idea. Like, do people really buy more cars if we have more red cars, something like that, right? And then you see, okay, like indeed people buy more, or like nothing changes. right? And then this gives you some idea that you can, you know, either change your assumptions or maybe develop them, right?
Yeah, develop further.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that can go with, that was a startup example, but it goes definitely well with machine learning or machine learning process, sorry, or a data product.
So it seems like it's something that will work in other environments too, not just the startup, right? Like, I don't know, corporation too.
Yeah, well, I think in the end that's something that they do. And yeah, maybe the book that I was reading about this, the Lean Startup, that's called the book. It was saying in the beginning that it's not only for startups. It's for everyone, like for companies, for
Life.
I mean, like life, maybe life, like. In machine learning, you make assumption about when you publish a model, how will it go based on the training and data set that you have in the testing. But then when you publish it, things might change. And one aspect that people, I think, right now discuss a lot, and you have it in the MLOps course, is the monitoring, right? And there things drift, like you have data drift or concept drift. I mean, like you have to monitor them and see whether your model or the assumptions change. I mean, like tools, like I think you have evidently. Definitely can. It would be useful to have them.
Mm-hmm. And for those who do not know, Adonis now is talking about the MLOps course, the free course that started last week. So we are still on module 1, and by the time the recording is out, we will probably be on module like 3 maybe. But yeah, you can check it out. I think there should be a link in the description to this video too. And maybe I actually wanted to talk to you about that a little bit later. But before starting the stream, I asked you when you joined DataTalks.Club. So maybe you can tell us a bit more about that, because you're a very active member of our community, and it's very interesting to hear your story. Like, how did it happen that you joined our community?
All right. Yeah. So I had a friend who was was in the program in Eindhoven, Leonard. And we were talking about courses and it's like discussing, okay, I was telling him, hey, I want to check out, I had more courses because I think I'm weak on, I don't know, some topics. And he said, okay, I know, like Alexei or DataTalks.Club, is this, you can check it out. They had, back then was, I think, December, he was telling me about that. You had the data engineering course. I was like, okay, yeah, I will check it out. And I was a bit late to join, so I didn't join the data engineering course that you had. I think it was maybe the first data engineering that you had there. And I didn't know, about the concept of this of Slack or the talks that you had, so I wasn't sure what it is. And I was, as the time was passing, the months were passing, I was seeing maybe the talks. So I was checking some of the talks that you had, the interviews, and then I was checking more the Slack. So I slowly kind of understood what was happening in Slack and the whole community. So I said, okay, I will join the MLOps when it was a chance. I really liked it. I definitely liked the fact that people were posting the questions or talking about MLOps. Like it was something that I realized that I didn't have first. Okay, in my startup, I was the scientist alone there, kind of. And it was fascinating to see, people from around the world talking about, data and something new that was happening, and also learn, learn something new. And after that was I wanted to be, more active. As I saw that I liked, apart from being in the community, maybe I could do something small on my own. Like, okay, but yeah, you suggested the project of the week, so yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool to have you here, and it's nice to hear your story. So you tried to do data engineering course, then like you weren't, like it was a bit late, I guess, or you were, yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
did the MLOps one, right?
yeah, that was my first one.
Do you remember what your project was about?
Yeah, I chose like a semiconductor project. I don't remember what I was predicting right now. Yeah, but there was a lot of features, and I was trying to. It was a machine learning model. I was, I think, predicting if the fault of if the chip is gonna fail or not. I'm not sure, but yeah, I had the opportunity to do use MLflow. I would say I had it in the past. Check out Grafana and with evidently AI, and also use Prefect. It was a very nice alternative for me personally to Airflow. For me it was, for the things I wanted to build, was much easier. So yeah, I had the opportunity, to use them all, kind of as you did in the course, but yeah, all of them together for a course. It was a big learning. You having a project definitely was the best thing in the end for getting the knowledge installed in your head.
Okay. Do you have any suggestions for the students who just start the MLOps course?
Yeah, I think it's first check for sure for sure the exercises in the end. You can watch a video and then you can forget after that what they did if you don't practice it yourself. For me, it happens all the time. I think I know it, but it's different. The knowledge part from the skill set part, like those things are different. And have patience. If you're there, I know everybody might be very busy, but if they have patience and to slowly progress every day or whenever they have time, they for sure can make it. And people are very yeah, flexible on the deadlines. I saw you were flexible. I was feeling myself sometimes. I was very pressured on the deadline, but okay, you said okay, let's extend it 1 week. I don't know, maybe I don't know if I should say that, but yeah. And for sure, do the final project. That again, as I said before, was the best thing. And yeah, another thing which I didn't mention that the community helped me was that you were mentioning a lot about posting your progress in public or making a post. I myself, I couldn't post every day, but I was seeing other people doing, which looked nice. But I posted, my final one, and I had a lot of requests, people sending me messages to discuss about it. So I really like that as well. Like people having had questions about my project, and yeah, so it was also very rewarding as well, that aspect.
Pretty cool. And I know that in the course you used Evidently, and then I saw you in the Evidently community, and I think you also contributed to the tool. Like, how did it happen? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so there was I saw the evidently I liked the tool, and then they announced the Hacktoberfest for in October, and uh, they announced it, or the organization behind it, and evidently itself had some issues posted that you could try to solve them, and do a pull request. And yeah, I like the tool, I like the whole aspect of it. It fitted, as I said before, in my lean aspect of the startup. And yeah, I said, okay, well, let's try it out. I wasn't sure I could do something useful, but yeah, I did something. I'm trying to follow it. But it's again, I like the community there very much. The people, definitely the people, and I'm learning a lot from there as well.
Are you still contributing?
I try to. Yeah. That is like a small contribution on a notebook, like a how-to notebook. Like recently, not like as a tutorial mostly. I'm trying more to. I don't have a lot of time, but when I have, like, I try to put it there.
Yeah. Well, speaking of having not so much time, well, I know you work at a startup. You also take a very active part in our community. Then you also contribute to open source, like evidently, and you also freelance. So tell us about that part. Like how did you start freelancing, and what do you do now as a freelancer?
Yeah. So I I was working on a startup, and I wanted to expose myself more on data science and building things. Apart from gaining the knowledge, I want also some actual, uh, clients on myself for the data science part, just for me to grow and, some extra income if I can. And I found this platform called Upwork, where it's a platform that allows freelancers. Apart from it, there could be data scientists, machine learning engineers, but it could be some web designers. So it's not only for data reasons. The platform offers them a spot they offer them a spot. Also offers the same spot for clients. So clients post the job, and clients see those jobs and apply all together and see. The client says, okay, I like you. Let's do an interview. Okay, you're fitted. Let's start the project. The project could be fixed price or hourly. There's a lot of competition, but it's a very nice platform. Yeah.
Well, what kind of projects are there usually? Like, are they long projects, short projects?
All kind. It could be. I have a niche. You can check out my dissertation. For 2 hours or something, and there could be like a 6-month project on building a model. Like now there I see a lot of LLMs, like ChatGPT related things.
What kind of projects do you usually go after?
Machine learning, data science, analytics, those things. Those three, and there are a lot of those, and very diverse. Like could be from the healthcare. I had the big one from there, and kind of text mining it was, and there was one for again to build a model, like a segmentation model. I had also one recently.
So, like from what I hear, it's more like short-term projects, maybe for a week or a month, something like that.
Actually, the healthcare project was 4 or 3 months. And the segmentation that I did was 3 weeks. I had one also was very short, but it depends. Like there are some, I myself couldn't join because I had the startup. I couldn't join a very, very long one because I was doing short-term projects. Like you can choose to have, like, to put more than 40 hours per week. Like you can filter out even the jobs. But there are long term. I just happen to choose those short term because of the time that I can put it.
And yeah, you mentioned that there is a lot of competition, and I imagine that especially if you're just getting started at a platform like Upwork or Fiverr, or there are a few of them. Like, how do you actually get this first client with all this competition, with all the other freelancers on this platform?
Yeah, that's a very good question. You have to again have patience. That's definitely the biggest advice, and persistence. So you do by step. First, you build like a basic resume or portfolio. Upwork helps you. Upwork wants you to get clients because even from the business related reasons, they get some money out of all this. So you definitely have a support kind of from the side. I myself, I had to watch a lot of YouTube videos, like people who are there and had were same spot as me and as the person. Yeah, you asked. So I think the first thing is to build a basic portfolio. Try some, do some, answer some. Can't find the word. Yeah, clients' jobs. Go do, try to take them. Post as beautiful as you can why you want the job or what you can do about it. If they reject you, it's fine. Try to learn from it, why it happened, and yeah, kind of improve step by step. For me, it helped a lot. Again, to have this process. Like I didn't get a job in the beginning, any job. Then I found out, okay, I should write a better message to them, trying to explain exactly what I can do for them. And then I built, like I was sending them apart from my message. You can send an attachment. Okay, I didn't use that attachment. Okay, I built a PowerPoint with all the projects that I've done myself. Not one has to do with an actual client. Like I had actually the MLOps project that I did for DataTalks.Club. I put it there, and I had it attached in my message. So in the end, and by proving again every day, every week your profile, you get higher chances. You might not get the best client in the beginning, but if you get a small job, you might get 5 stars. Okay, you didn't get much money, but you get the 5 stars. Then you get another 5 stars. Maybe then you can climb more and more and more. So it's process by process. It's a process there as well. You have to put your time to invest and have patience. But it's, again, I think could be rewarding.
From what I heard, it looks like the course helped you actually getting clients.
Yeah, it helped. It helped.
Okay, good. Happy to hear that. So you said that you were constantly improving and trying to figure out why rejections happened. So why do you think rejections actually happen? Because your profile was incomplete, because the clients weren't sure that you can do the job, or what was the reason?
Yeah. So most of the if somebody else gets the job, maybe another person had written a better. I cannot find again this kind of the word for that.
I think, right?
Sorry.
Or cover letter, portfolio.
Yeah, the cover letter, exactly. Yeah, maybe written a cover letter, or had more fitted job. Or skills about that, or had more experience, or maybe they were less money. So I think it depends. I think it always helps. Maybe that's something I didn't say before, to have a specific skill. Maybe like 1 year ago, I was seeing a lot of chatbots. If you had a very good experience on building chatbots, you can focus only on that, and then you get some clients there. That helps a lot. I wasn't kind of that person. So for me, you don't get exactly the feedback. You have to ask for it from clients. If you don't get an answer, you can again make assumptions. But I was seeing always these YouTube videos, or the instructions, or the advices the Upwork was giving, and I was seeing myself. I was not writing a good cover letter. I maybe asked for 2 months. So I have to check. I have to put more skills for my resume. So
Was it worth it? Like, it looks like you went through a lot of troubles to actually start getting clients. Like, do you enjoy it?
So it wasn't that I was doing only that. So again, for me, it was a learning experience from the beginning. So I enjoyed it. And also, like you get I don't say some kind of angry, not exactly angry, but okay, why I'm not getting where I want, like what I'm missing. So it's kind of building up until you get it succeeded.
So you get a push to develop better, to develop yourself better, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now, in addition to your to work at a startup, you have a few extra gigs that you do at Upwork, right?
Yeah. Right. I just finished one recently with the segmentation model that I was talking about. Yeah, but now I don't have any.
I've heard that one of the problems with Upwork and other similar platforms is that there are a lot of people who work for very little money, and then you kind of have to compete with them. How did you solve this problem? Like, how do you come up with the price for your offers for your projects?
Yeah, I'm not able to answer this exactly. This is indeed an issue. I myself have put it like an hourly, $43 per hour, and I'm trying to follow that as much as I can, depending on the project. If the project's not going to take a lot of time from me, I might, and it's not very complicated, I might lower it. If it's a big corporation, I will definitely put it like that. So again, it depends on the client. Secondly, it depends on again me valuing my time. So I have my kind of income from the startup, and I'm okay. So I have a kind of a basic salary. So again, the question is this rest of the time that I have, how much I value it? If I value it very like a $10 per hour for a project that is not going to offer me something new, like a new skills, then I'm not going to accept. If it's $10 per hour, again, the same, but it's something that's going to give me definitely nice skills and I really like it, I might do it. If it is very good money, I will, again, gonna do it. So it depends on how I value my time. Just personal.
So you are now at Upwork and you see a nice project, then you probably, I don't know, apply to this project, you send a cover letter, you send a PowerPoint presentation, and then you come up with a price depending on the type of the client. And what happens next after you apply? Like,
yeah, so that's indeed a very interesting part of the process that so after that you might have already done an interview to get accepted, but then it starts another process of starting with the project or the client's problem. And there I personally seen that I have to make sure that the tasks for getting in the final solution or the milestone at least that has been decided is crystal clear or as crystal clear as it can be. So I'm trying to talk with the client, and again, depending on the client. Like if it's a big corporation, it's more easy to do that. It's an only person alone. It's more difficult. But after the interview, the first interview, or of getting accepted, you have to maybe do a kind of an inspection, or we can call sometimes data inspection, and see, okay, what do they have? Is it true what they had they were saying? Is indeed the data that they were saying? Okay, I take some time and see, okay, can I solve it in the way that they asked, or do I have to tell them how I'm gonna solve it? So you do this kind of more theoretical and less practical parts, and you both agree. You have to both agree with your stakeholder or the other client, and then you start doing the actual task. And while you're doing again the task, you have to make some milestones. Okay, I did that. Where we are? Do we like it? Let's move on. And so it's another kind of process.
looks like similar to what we talked about in the lean
Yeah,
startup, right?
yeah. It's philosophy. It's a mindset.
So you just work in milestones, then you see if the client is satisfied with what you do, And if they are, you continue working. So then you get constant feedback from them, right?
Yeah. That's you always what you want to do. It's more, I can say it more easy that I can do it myself. There are always some things unpredictable, but it's okay. And yeah, I failed sometimes myself, like doing this kind of process, and I try to improve it every time. Yeah.
And in order to work as a freelancer, you needed to register a company, or how does it work?
Yeah. So yeah, you have to be. I try to translate it in from Greek, like yeah, you have to register as a freelancer for your own country. So when you get that kind of income, you can say, okay, I have to put an invoice and publish it, I don't know, kind of in the country, and so they can bring the taxes. So yeah.
You don't just, start, go to Upwork, register, and start earning money, right? So there is some paperwork.
Yeah. You have to, like, okay, maybe you can do it and never get the money in your bank and always put it. You can stay always in the on Upwork. I don't know if you want that.
Advice, right? Or
So sorry.
so if the money is in Upwork, then like, what are you going to do with this money?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Like, you can actually put it there until, I don't know. Maybe you can do it and then start a company on your own to get them in your bank.
First, you try to get a few clients, and if this thing works out, then you go through the paperwork. So you don't have to get money immediately off the platform.
Yeah, maybe you can do them in parallel, because doing the paperwork maybe takes some time depending on where you are. Like can take some delays. Maybe it's public sector things.
So at your work, you have to wear multiple hats. So we talked about many different things you need to do, like talk to clients, maybe even do videos and all that kind of stuff. While here as a freelancer, you're more focused on machine learning, right?
Yeah.
Or you still, as a freelancer, you still need to do some extra stuff.
I think again the communication skills, the whole process that I described need. If you had like a good soft maybe skills, not say it better, it will help you, because you might have a person. Again, you have to control the whole process with the client, and also present them what you did. With maybe you don't have to be a lot of technical. Yeah. So again, these kind of skills are very very valuable, and I think you can again connect it with everything. Like again, business. You are a business on your own there, and I was talking about how value your time, and you have to decide that. So you maybe have to kind of get again the business knowledge for yourself. So, but these are skills that you can learn them along the way, and yeah, you can do some failures and you can learn from them. I think again, if somebody listens to this podcast and make a checklist, again, it's not very easy to track all of these things unless you you do them. So again, if somebody wants to, I think you asked it before, like if you want to start, just go for it, and it will be viable for sure. You get some good skills.
Thank you. There's a question from Anonymous. I struggle to get freelance work. Other than being consistent in the search for freelance work, do you have any other suggestions? I think we discussed this partly. So like iterate, improve your profile, right? That was one of the things. Is there anything else you would recommend to the anonymous person?
Well, I didn't answer the second part. Like
yeah. So the question is, I struggle to get freelance work. Other than being consistent in the search for freelance work, do you have any other suggestions?
Okay, I guess see. I think it can be a good idea while you are see what is valuable for the client. All right. Okay, searching and for you to get a job. So doing consistent and persistent way of doing a lot of checking a lot of jobs, it will help you. The other thing which I said, fix your profile every day. Try to see where you can improve. Like if you can improve your profile every day by little, in 1 month you can have very good profile. I think you can also, while you're doing that, see where you want to focus your skills, or whether you want to learn something new. And while you doing this search, also learn a skill or improve your skill set. That's also very valuable. And check for sure the YouTube videos and tutorials from other people in the Upwork community. They will help you definitely. You can follow their advices. And like while you're doing the skills, maybe you can build, like I did, a project from the MLOps course, and put it on your GitHub, and then put it on your presentation, and attach it when in your next cover letter. Those things I can think right now.
So anyone who is struggling with getting Upwork clients, do our courses and do projects in our courses, right? And then follow project. Cool, thanks. So maybe coming back to what you do at DataTalks.Club, this is something I wanted to talk at the end. Well, we mentioned already you took part in our courses. You also recently finished the data engineering course, right?
Yeah.
So did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it, and there were some skills that I wanted to kind of to learn or sharp more. I really liked it. I didn't have an exposure a lot, to streaming, and I wanted a lot of focus on that in this one. And so also, for the final project, I used the Kafka, Confluent actually. I think I would totally recommend to anyone this course. I really liked, the document that you had. You had this document with answers, questions that people had, or
frequently asked questions.
Yeah, frequently asked questions. That saved a lot of time. Like, it was amazing how many times I had the same issue. And I think it's not easy to make like a data engineering course, because a lot of technical little things, aspects, or versions change as you go.
It's very annoying.
And but it was very valuable thing to do.
What your project was about? You said, you mentioned it was streaming, but what kind of project did? Also something about like semiconductors?
No. I wanted actually to go to send you like maybe to make something valuable for DataTalks.Club. So I tried in the beginning to try to use Twitter API, but I was seeing that I was taking a lot of time to get accepted as a developer there. I don't know why is the reason. Maybe some people do it faster, but I couldn't myself. So I said, okay. And I was supposed to take, I wanted to scrape Twitter, and specifically people were talking about DataTalks.Club and somehow use the data. And that's okay, I cannot do that. So I went to the YouTube videos, and I was saying, okay, maybe I can do something about that. So I took the YouTube API, and I saw actually a video from somebody called Chris Jenkins, I think, who was using the YouTube API and from playlists, and he was taking the metrics from the videos, number of comments, number of views, all these, and he was streaming to a Telegram. I don't know. He was when there was something new comment would appear. So I said, okay, I will use kind of the same logic, but I will put it on BigQuery and stream every some seconds the number of views, the comments, and the likes, and stream them in a dashboard in from the BigQuery to how's called the dashboard that you can Locker, and put it on Locker. And that was a streaming part, and there was also like other metrics that came as a batch. You know, I didn't have to in my head. Okay, maybe it's not useful to put in a stream. Maybe you can do it every schedule it for every day, or say like a daily. And that was another pipeline. Again, there are struggles, but it was useful. But it was funny. But in the end, the YouTube didn't allow me to use the API for more than I don't know 100 times per day. So it was a bummer. Couldn't make it in the end something what I wanted. But yeah, it was again, I took the tools that you had in each video and to make something like that I wanted.
Yeah, that sounds so cool. So like maybe for those who are struggling with coming up with a portfolio project because it's important for freelance job, or for those who are now listening to this and taking a course right now and they are struggling with coming up with a project idea, do you have any recommendations for them?
Yeah, find something that you personally like and try to see if there is data about that. And if there, maybe you can build, like if it's a data engineering project, a dashboard, or if it's a machine learning MLOps, like a model. And it don't have to be perfect, like definitely not have to be perfect. You just make sure that you have this nice idea that you like, and it will definitely make you more eager, and you're gonna join more the whole thing, the whole building process.
Yeah. What if I don't know what I like?
Yeah, so that's another philosophical. I think you should go out there and explore. Maybe join a startup, join a corporate, maybe do a break and try to see what you're passionate about. Explore. Like if it would be reinforcement learning model, I try to focus on the explore part.
Okay, well, I guess we should be wrapping up. So maybe last question for you. Do you have any resource recommendations for anyone who is listening to this? I think you mentioned the Lean Startup book. Maybe you have some other recommendations?
Yeah, I would definitely, again, recommend people reading Lean Startup. It will help them either if they're in startup or not. The whole idea of that process of working. So I would recommend that book. For data scientists and machine learning engineers, analysts, I would recommend also like a second part of it called Lean Analytics, where it's focusing a lot on the measure part and finding good metrics for your startup, your project, or whatever you're doing. It's 10 years ago, that book, but a lot of the parts are up to date, and I think the writers are updating it. And I would recommend also a book. I have it here. No, I'm not sure. Yeah, I really like this book now that I'm kind of finishing the designing machine learning systems. It looked very nice.
It's a book by Chip.
Yeah, Chip.
Yeah.
I cannot pronounce it.
Yeah, I will not attempt to pronounce your last name too.
Sorry, yeah. And yeah, check out the DataTalks.Club.
Thank you.
They
Okay,
definitely, yeah.
yeah, we should be wrapping up. Thanks,
Okay.
Adonis, joining us today, for sharing all your experience, and thanks for being a very active member of our community. And thanks everyone for joining us today too and listening. So I guess that's all. Have a great week.
You too.
Yeah.